Okay, I've put some review problems on the board from yesterday. I want us to find the perimeter and the area of each one. Need to also identify what these shapes are. Isn't this cool? You can hear me? Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Tell me what this is. A rectangle, that is correct. Let me answer this. Now, what if it was squished over like somebody sat on it? I'll draw a picture. What if it was squished over like somebody sat on it? What's that called?
You drew that yesterday, didn't you?
I did. Do you remember what that's called? I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensions on it.
A cube is there
Yes, you're getting it.
perpendicular. I
Oh,
can't say the word.
parallelogram. A parallelogram.
I'm like, I can't say it.
P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L, parallelogram. Parallelogram. And it's a four-sided figure also, just like the rectangle. Do you remember when we talked about the difference between those two? That the rectangle has to have a right angle. It has to have these 90-degree angles. See, the parallelogram is pretty much the same as a rectangle. It just got squished, but it does not have that little square in the corner. It doesn't have 90-degree angles anymore. That's what makes this a parallelogram. And you will also see, I think, the formula for the area of a parallelogram is on your formula sheet also. I didn't tell you, Naomi, you need to get out your formula sheet. Do you have one? If you don't have, it sounds like you don't have one. Let me grab you one real quick, okay?
I think I do.
This will be your best friend. That's it. Uh-huh. That's it. That will be your best friend while we're working in geometry, okay? I'll go ahead and put dimensions on this one also, and then we will start with the rectangle. You guys can go ahead and get started. I want to know the area and the perimeter of this rectangle, okay? Area and perimeter. Let me get these on and I'll get out of the way. Okay, that's neat. All right. So the rectangle and the way I want you to do your work, remember, the way I want you to do your work is to find the formula, write the formula down first, okay? So to find the, well, for the perimeter, you don't have to, but for the area, I want you to. So how do you find the perimeter of any polygon? What is the perimeter? The distance all the way around the outside, right? So if I'm going to go all the way around this outside, what do I know about this side? It's the same as the top because that's what a rectangle is. This side, opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel on a rectangle, okay? So we're going to have the perimeter of that rectangle is simply going to be 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. Now your formula, I don't want you to get mixed up by looking at the formula. The formula, I think, says 2L plus 2W. Is that right? Is there one on there? If there's not, it doesn't matter. You will see it like this sometimes.
Yeah.
But, okay, this right here says I'm going to take 2 lengths, 2 times the length. So that's where these come in. See, there's 2 lengths plus 2 of the widths. So it's actually the same thing. You're doing the same thing. Okay? I apologize, Vanessa. Do you need to sit somewhere else? Can you see it okay?
Right.
Okay, and so for the perimeter of that rectangle, we get 24. And remember that the perimeter is one-dimensional. And so you don't have anything except an invisible 1 there on our units, okay? The perimeter. Now let's find the area of the rectangle. I want the formula first. So you look on your chart and find the area. It should be close to the top. Look on your formula chart. Area, and then find the rectangle. And it says area equals what? Length and width. Length, and they're crammed together, right? Length times width, okay?
So it's not wide, so it's.
Okay, area equals length times width. Remember when 2 variables or a number and a variable are smashed together, it means multiply. So after you wrote the formula, and I highly encourage you to do this, it'll keep you from getting mixed up. Then underneath, write it again. We don't know what the area is, so we continue to use an A. And then we do, looking at the picture, the length, I usually use the longer one. You're not going to get the wrong answer if you use length as 4. I like the longer one, L, length, L, long, whatever works for you. The length is 8. We know there's a times. And then the width is 4. And so our area is going to be 32. And we're working with centimeters. But we found out that area is 2-dimensional. It's 2-dimensional. And so we're going to use a squared for anything that has area. Later, we're even going to work with surface area, and that will be squared also, of squared units. Okay? Any questions on the rectangle? All right. Let's go to the triangle, okay? Triangle next.
That one.
This one.
Oh.
Triangle. We'll work on the triangle next. Okay, I would like the perimeter first. You guys get a head start. Perimeter.
$45 feet.
You probably already got it. Let's see, 37. Yes, sir. Good job, Josh. Is it okay if I call you Josh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. 45 feet. Is that what y'all got? Did I go too fast?
Yeah.
Now,
Little bit.
the one thing that I want to call your attention to, especially the people that weren't here yesterday, is there's another number, 6. But don't be tricked and use this 6 when you're trying to find the outside perimeter. Perimeter means the outside around. The 6 is not part of that, okay? So that's why we didn't use it in the perimeter there. Now I want you to find the area. And the way you're going to be able to do that is go to the area part of your formula chart, find the triangle, and we write down the formula first. Did all of you find this on your formula chart?
That's gonna be the base and the height.
Yes, it will be. Okay, so underneath it, we don't know the area yet. We know 1/2 is part of the formula, so we have to write the 1/2. Those of you that like to use 0.5 as a decimal for this, that's okay. All right? These are crammed together, so I know there's a times. Now the little b stands for the base of the triangle, which in this case is 19. The base is down here. And while I'm here, the height, you have to be very careful on triangles because the height can't be this. It has to start at the top and it has to be perpendicular to the base. The height is always perpendicular to the base. You'll find out here and there. Forgot to put something on that one. 5 inches. Okay. The height then, understand, this one is appropriately named, and we won't use it for a while, but it's called the slant height because it's not perpendicular to the base. This one is the one you're going to use in our formula. So we've got 1/2. The base is 19. The height is 6. And I put some numbers that I can't do in my head.
It comes to 114 and 57 foot squared.
Okay, I can't hear you very well.
I said 19 times 6 comes to 114, and half of that's 57 foot squared.
Okay, all right. So he said he took the 19 times 6 and got 114. That's correct, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then he divided it by 2 or took it times 1/2.
And you get
Taking
57
something
foot.
times 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. Y'all see?
Yes.
So he did, so it should be 57. Yes, 57, and we were working with feet. And we know that area, I'll move out of the way in a minute. Area is squared. So the area of this triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Just do your multiplication. If it's all multiply, you can do the whole thing in your calculator if you want. Okay, if everything is multiply.
Did I hear you say divide earlier? Yeah, that's what I heard.
If the 1/2, you can take something times a fraction 1/2, and that is exactly the same as dividing by 2.
Okay, but if I do it on my calculator like I was yesterday, I can just put in the 1/2 times?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's easier than trying to do it.
Okay, I like your questions. This is good. Those of you on the video, she asked if instead of dividing by 2, if she wants to put all this in her calculator, she can just put the 1/2 in as a fraction. And yes, that's perfectly fine. Okay, calculator is your friend also. All right, any questions on the triangle? Any questions on the triangle? We're going to move to the trapezoid. This is our picture of the trapezoid. A trapezoid to me looks like a triangle. See the triangle? And it got the chopped off, okay? Now this triangle is sideways, which is fine. You're going to see it all different ways, okay? And when they first to teach you about a trapezoid, they draw it like this, okay? Now on a trapezoid, you know a trapezoid because the two bases, trapezoid has two bases because its top got chopped off. The two bases have to be parallel to each other. So when you look at this one, our bases are the sides that are parallel. This got turned. Okay, so our formula, well, let's find the perimeter first, okay? Perimeter first means the outside. Go ahead and find it.
Is that a 4 on the bottom?
It is. Did I do it right?
See,
7, 14, 27. Yes? Okay, 27 inches. Notice that perimeter is one-dimensional, and so we have an invisible 1 on our units. You don't have to write that 1, but that's how you know. Perimeter is one-dimensional, area is two-dimensional. So let's find the area of the trapezoid now. The area, find the area formula, okay? 1/2 height
will be 1 plus B2.
Yes, ma'am. Did you forget your glasses today, Toots?
Yes, from 120.
All right, on a trapezoid, notice that we have two bases. These are the parallel bases, which doesn't matter which one's base 1 and which one's base 2, but you have to be very careful that you use the numbers that are on the parallel sides. Those are the bases. And then the height, again, has to be perpendicular to the base. The height has to be perpendicular to the base. So when we fill this out now for this parallel, or the trapezoid, we have A equals, we know 1/2 has to be part of the problem, times, because it's crammed together, we know it's times, and we find the height on this trapezoid is not 4, but it's the one that's perpendicular to the base, which is 5, times, now we have to add the two bases together. These are the parallel sides, so these are the bases. Doesn't matter which one's which, we just have to add them together. Are you guys okay? You okay with where I got all the numbers?
Yeah.
And then we use the order of operations. And the order of operations says to do the parentheses first. We get an answer there. And we write the rest of the problem around it. Then here, it's all multiply. And so we've got, we should come up with the area equals 40, I think. Yes. When you multiply this all out, and we're dealing with inches, and because it's area, we square it. Inches squared. So the area of that trapezoid is 40 inches squared. Josh, did you get that packet that I sent you?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have one extra one that we'll work off of today and some conversion papers that I'll send to you later.
Okay.
For the most part, that packet I sent you, we're going to be using the rest of today and tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Okay, any questions on the trapezoid? All right, and one last one, the parallelogram is quite easy to do. The parallelogram, let's find the perimeter first, okay? Perimeter. Parallelogram is right here. I need the perimeter. Which should be
38.
7 plus 12 plus 7 plus 12. We have to go all the way around. The biggest mistake that students make on perimeter is they usually see two numbers and they stop at that and just get 19, and you can't do that. The perimeter is all the way around.
Is that a 9 or a 4?
It is
Or a 7? That one. Yeah.
7. 7. Sorry.
What's the number inside?
4.
4 feet.
4 feet. So did everybody get 38 for the perimeter? And you're working on the area now? The area of a parallelogram is area equals BH, right? So what's B?
Base
The base. So what number do I need to put there?
12.
12, good job. And I'm hearing you too, Josh. 4, not 7. It has to be 4 because the height of a parallelogram has to be perpendicular to the base. Here's the base. It's perpendicular. Right here. It has to be the one that's perpendicular is the height. And so we have 48. We're dealing with feet. And area is 2-dimensional. So we have 48.
Regular is a straight line.
Say that one more time. Mhm. Parallelogram. Parallelogram?
No, perpendicular. But yeah,
Oh, perpendicular?
is that the straight line?
Perpendicular, the definition of perpendicular is a line. It creates a 90-degree angle. Okay.
Oh.
Perpendicular. And the 90-degree angle would be indicated with this little square, okay? That means 90 degrees, and it means that this and this are
So
perpendicular.
whatever shape, as long as it's that straight line, is that word.
Perpendicular, yes. I'll let you practice, okay? Perpendicular. Perpendicular. Did
What is
I-
a 90 degrees angle?
Yes, yes.
And what is that?
We'll start talking about angles later, but I will show you. It's when two rays, we're going to talk about it soon. Two rays are formed together. The measurement between here is measured in degrees, and they go all the way from 0 degrees, which would be on top of each other, and this little arrow can go all the way around, and the degrees get bigger and bigger, where you could have this one might be 25 degrees. We'll do this a lot later, but I'm glad you asked, Mary. And this one could be 115 degrees. See, but a right angle is this. It's 90 degrees. And this is what we call a right angle. It's kind of a special one. Does that make a little more sense? We'll talk lots more about angles and rays and lines and all that stuff later, but everybody has indicated if they're taking that test that there's a lot of geometry, so that's why I hit this one first. You know, the areas and the volumes and all that stuff. Thanks for asking. That's really good, Mary. Okay, so any questions here? Because I'm going to move on to circles. Oh, you're going to love circles.
I love donuts.
That might be a good idea for somebody to show up with donuts again.
Yes.
Naomi was very generous last week. We could use donuts as a problem,
Yes.
an advanced problem. I may do it anyway, with or without donuts. Okay, circle. We're going to look at parts of a circle because they are used in the formulas. Okay, the circle. The distance all the way around, remember we called perimeter before on our polygons? But the very first day when we talked about polygons, we said polygons have to be, it's a many-sided figure. Remember? A many-sided figure. And so we looked at some different shapes, and we said the ovals and the circles aren't polygons, are they? Because they don't have straight sides. Okay? So we are still going to find the distance around a circle, but now it's not going to be called a perimeter. It's going to be called a circumference. One of those words, right? Circumference. Circumference. That's the distance around the outside of a circle. Just like a perimeter. It's just like a perimeter, except we have a different formula also because it is a circle. But the circumference is the distance around the outside of a circle. Okay? And of course, we have a little dot right in the middle, and it's called the center. This is the center of a circle. Now, if you start at the center of a circle and draw a line to the outside, this length right here, starting at the center and going to the outside of the circle, is called, I'm going to do this so I don't write so much inside. It's called the radius. The radius is the distance from the center of a circle to the outside of the circle. Okay?
The distance from where? I'm sorry, what was it? Is the distance from?
It's the distance from the center to the outside of a circle. The distance from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. Okay? And right now, this is all I'm going to give you today. As far as parts of a circle, if you're very curious, there's a picture with more stuff of the circle over there. We're not going to talk about tangents and all of that stuff right now. Okay, and one more. If you go from one side of the circle clear to the other side of the circle, but go through the center, see if I can get this kind of straight, all the way, then this is called a diameter. D-I-A-M-E-T-E-R. It's a diameter. It goes all the way from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle, but it has to pass through the center. If it doesn't pass through the center, it's something else. But a diameter goes all the way through the center from one side to the other side of the circle.
And it must go.
The diameter has to go through the center. All right. Diameter. D-I-A-M-E-T-E-R. Diameter. Okay, now I want to point out here, can you see that I could also have another radius coming from the center to the outside, or coming from the center to the outside? Do you see that it could have many, and the plural of radius is radii, R-A-D-I-I. That's the plural. So if you see that, don't be confused.
R-A-D.
I. That's the plural of radius. Now, the reason that I'm telling you this, the radius is like spokes of a bicycle wheel, right? There can be a bunch of them. Well, what about this? Look at this right here. This is a radius, is it not? If I go just from the center to the side,
Yeah.
is this a radius?
Yeah.
Yes. So the diameter of a circle is equal to 2 radii. Okay, so here we go. Diameter, and you're going to use this a lot, equals 2 times the radius. The diameter of a circle equals 2 times the radius. Okay? It's 2 radii equals a diameter. You'll get used to this one real fast.
A lot of words for circle.
Okay, now we're going to use some formulas to find both the circumference and the area of a circle. But first, I want to talk to you about our special number, one of the special numbers that's indicated in mathematics. You will always use this number when you're working with curves, like ovals and circles. Pi. That's exactly right. Okay, we're going to be working with a special number called pi. You will see it like this, pi. Now, in the lower grades, if you were introduced to pi, they told you that pi was approximately equal to 3.14. This means approximately equal to, because it's just rounded off. Or as you got into junior high and started using fractions, they would tell you that you could also use a fraction for pi as 22/7. 22/7, which is more accurate than this. But I also want to call your attention to a third thing, that on the calculator that you're going to use on the GED test, there is a symbol, pi. This is the most accurate that you could use in your problems, is to do pi, because I want you to look over here at the poster that they have for pi. Here it is. It says pi is almost equal to 22/7. It's often shortened to this. These are only estimates. This is the worst estimate. This is better, but using the pi symbol on your calculator will give you the most exact answer, because pi is equal to this decimal that continues forever and ever. If you straighten this decimal out, it would go around the school and to Amarillo and to Argentina and to the moon and back, and it doesn't repeat and it doesn't stop. Okay, so pi is a very, very unique number in mathematics. Okay,
Does it repeat the numbers?
it doesn't repeat in any kind of pattern,
Oh, okay.
like 141, 141, 141. It doesn't repeat in any kind of pattern. It's just a very, very special number. Okay? Do you kind of understand pi? All right. Now, on your GED test, some of the problems that it tells you to work. The instructions, remember I told you the instructions are so important because it has lots of clues in it. And it also tells you how to give the answers. Well, in anything that has to do with circles, it may say use 3.14 for pi. So if it says that, you have to use 3.14 to get the correct answer, okay? Or in parentheses up in the instructions, it might say use 22/7 for pi. If it says that, then do it. That's the only way you're going to get the right answer. But if it doesn't indicate what to use for pi, always use your pi button on your calculator. Okay? And for any problems that I don't indicate, I really, really want you to use the pi button on your calculator. Everybody good? All right. So what we're going to do is, I've got to get rid of this, okay? So everybody have what they need off here? Okay. Josh, speak up if you don't want me to erase.
No, you're good.
All righty.
I wrote it all down.
I cannot wait to meet you face to face. I hope I get to. All right.
Yeah.
So here's a circle. I'm going to put radius is, let's do 8 inches. Okay, this is all you get. This is all you get. Now I want you to find the circumference. So go find circles wherever it is.
Is that 8 inches?
Yes, it is. 8 inches. And this is all they'll give you. I want to find the circumference. Now, if you notice, when you find circumference on your formula chart, it has 2 different formulas. Okay? They're just making it easy for you.
They're just making it hard.
No, listen, they're making it easy.
One formula.
Pi times d, or they have this one. Oh, yeah. C equals 2 pi r. Okay, the d stands for diameter of the circle. Pi times d, d is the diameter. Or if your picture shows a radius, they gave you one here. You can use the radius here. Okay?
And you do see that a lot. I don't see that on my formula, that MD.
You don't see the 2 pi r?
Oh, the R, yeah.
And this is pi times d?
I don't see that one.
It should be across from each other, right?
The circle. Oh,
It's backwards.
yeah, I always say the pi, R, and 2.
It's right here on the bottom, look, where it says circumference of a circle, and it has it right here, but it's.
Oh, that's, okay, I see it now.
Do you
Thank
see them now?
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, I want to point out to you that these are exactly the same formula. Now, listen to me carefully because you just learned about radius and diameter, okay? But didn't we say that all the way across was the diameter, right? Did we say that the diameter is 2 radii?
So it would be 16.
So see here, 2 radii is the same as diameter. Irene, they did make it easier for you so you don't have to figure this out. Yes, ma'am.
I have to call the principal for my son's school.
That's fine. That's fine. It'll be in the video if you miss anything. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So in this, in this particular problem, I want to find the circumference. So what am I given? I'm given a radius, right? So I'm going to use this formula. So circumference equals pi, 2 times pi times r. Now understand, if you're working all the way with times, these can be in different order. If they're all multiply, it's okay. But I think this is what's on your chart, right? 2 pi r? Yeah, okay. So circumference equals 2 times the pi button times 8. Now, you're going to find out something when you put this in your calculator. Mary, let's go ahead and get you a calculator so you can see. Does anybody else need a calculator? Okay, come on up and get it real quick. Yes.
And what can you?
Yes, you can get these at Target, Amazon, Walmart, Office Depot. And they're, depending on the place you get them, they're around 20.
Okay.
Be sure and take a picture of the actual calculator before you sign those back in, so you get the correct calculator if you're gonna go get one for yourself. Remember that you can check one out here when you go for your regular test. Okay. All right. So when you get here, all you have to do is put the 2 in your calculator, and you don't have to hit times, I don't think, but just to be careful, 2 times, and then there's a pi button. I think it's on the left-hand side of your keys. Do you see the pi button? So you just hit that, and then times 8. 2 times pi times 8.
Comes out to 16 pi.
Okay, now this is another thing I need to show you. It comes out to 16 pi. Okay, now, don't erase what's on your calculator, okay? Sometimes on the GED test, they will give anything that has to do with circle and pi. They might give the answer in terms of pi. That's what this is called, in terms of pi. So down in the multiple choice, you may see all these numbers with pi. But if you got 16 pi and you look in the multiple choice and it's all decimals, what are you going to do? You hit the toggle switch, which is the little switch right above your equal or enter. Hit it once. Say it again.
50.26548,246.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay, these mean exactly the same thing. Your calculator just took 16 times what pi is equal to and got this. Now, if you say, no, I needed terms of pi, hit the toggle switch again. And it should go right back to 16 pi. Okay, so whichever answer you use is going to depend on what's in the multiple choice. Okay. Yes, you'll get a lot of numbers because remember, pi is a lot of numbers. So it'll put as many as it can fit on the display.
So you just get the first 4 numbers?
Usually it will say round to the nearest hundredth, round to the nearest tenth. It'll say that. But your multiple choice, you'll be able to tell by the first few numbers. You have to go. It's okay if you have to go.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but there was a child in my daughter's class that cannot follow the program.
Okay,
So she's going to have to quarantine to follow me.
so you're going to have to quarantine? Well, poo. Okay, that's why we have videos, Naomi. We're going to really miss you.
Yes.
She's going to be okay, Naomi. She's going to be okay. It'll be fine. She probably didn't even get exposed, but they have to do it, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to miss you. Take it all.
You're almost
Remember,
there, so.
you're going to number these in order, okay? Do you want a paperclip? Keep in touch with me, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Let us know.
Got our number anyway. Thank you.
We'll get donuts when you get back.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you later. Take care. All right, do y'all understand what we just did? Okay, then we're going to do one more with circumference and area, and looking at the time. Of course, we started late because the audio was all messed up, but I think we're just going to do one more circle, and the conversion that we were going to do, let's save that for tomorrow. Okay, so y'all can work through these 14 pages, 15
There's a lot of
pages that I gave
Not
you.
like this.
I'm like, the circle is like, oh.
It's
I know.
great practice. Great. Did you sign out, Naomi?
Wait, no. I'll be fine.
All right, let's look at one more circle. We're going to find the circumference and, oh, we didn't find the area yet. Oh, we need to find the area.
Like, dang it.
I bet you knew it and you weren't telling me. Okay, find area and find the circle and tell me what the formula for area is.
Is it still that
B times,
It's the A, area. Area of a,
is it the pi R2?
yes, yes. Pi, R, and it's squared, okay? It says we're gonna square the radius. Okay, and again, I'd like for you to use your pi button. So here's what we're gonna do to find the area of this. Area equals your pi button times 8 squared. Okay, when you're using your calculator, you can put it in just like this. If you're doing the order of operations, you need to do the exponent first.
How do we do the 2? I forgot.
There's a little x squared on the left.
It'll come out as a 2? Or comes out as a 1?
Yeah, you got to put your 8 first. Put your 8 in there and hit the x squared, and it will put it on top of there and then hit enter.
¿cuál es? Al lado del 7.
Got it.
Okay, and if you just did the 8 squared, it should come out 64. And then take it times pi, pi times 64. And of course, it will come up 64 pi. Yes, go ahead and try. I'll give you time.
It comes out 64 again?
It'll come out 64 pi because it's 64 times pi. So this might be in your multiple choice answers, but if they're all decimals in your answer, then you need to hit the toggle switch and tell me what this is going to be. Toggle switch, give me a decimal.
201.061, and it just keeps going with numbers.
Okay. So whether you need to use your toggle switch or not will depend on what's in the multiple choice. Is it in terms of pi or is it in a decimal? Okay, and you'll just use your toggle switch. It's easy. Okay. All right, we're going to practice on one more, and then we're going to call it good for today. Here's a circle, and the diameter will be 10 feet. Notice that the line through the center goes all the way. So this is not a radius anymore, it's a diameter. Okay, we're going to find that circumference is the pi times d, since you're using the diameter, use this formula. Okay? Circumference equals pi times the diameter, goes all the way. Okay, so C equals, and again, I will remind you, if you'll put down the formulas first, you'll make less mistakes. We're going to use the pi button times 10. So your answer for circumference should come out 10 pi. Or we can toggle, and it should be
31.4192.
and on and on and on. It sounds like you guys are getting the idea.
Somewhere.
Which one of these depends on what's in your multiple choice on your test. They mean exactly the same thing. I don't think you'll have a lot.
Yeah, there was many.
Let's find the area. Come on, y'all. Area. No, it's not 2. Did I put 2 in there before? Ooh. It's just, did I? I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, you did. I wrote down 2.
Ugh. It's not. It's just pi r squared. No, I didn't. Did I?
I don't know why I have 2 here.
There's a 2 in the
Why
circumference.
would you put 8, 2, 8, 2 something?
Oh, 8 squared. That's
Yeah,
different.
eight squared, yeah.
That's different. I was afraid I put a 2 here in front that said 2 times.
Is this the new one?
No, this is the area of a circle, and it's a new problem, but
Oh.
it's the one that we just found the circumference on, Irene. The diameter is still 10.
Okay.
Okay, so we wrote down the formula. Now be careful here. Area equals our pi button. But tell me what the radius is. 5. You don't just automatically put 10 in. 10 is all the way across. But this is the radius. So it has to be half of the diameter, remember? The radius only goes from the center to the outside. So we're going to use 5 now because it's asking for a radius.
So that's why you got 5, because it was the radius?
Yes, because the formula calls for the radius, not the diameter. So when you put pi in there, times 5 and square it, you should come up with 25 pi, and then you'll have to give me the decimal.
It's 78.98.
Just a minute. 78 point,
53981.
that's enough. And so on, and so on, and so on. And they will probably encourage you to round to the nearest hundredth or round to the nearest tenth. If you can't remember about rounding, we can go over that sometime, or you need to go back and review.
Yeah.
Yes,
What did you get, 25?
5 squared
Oh.
means 5 times 5. It's 25.
What's that off the book?
We can use a calculator, right?
Absolutely, on the test. See, that's why I told you to quit using your phone, silly girl. You need to use the calculator, it'll help a lot. You'll learn to love.
That's true, that's true.
So what do y'all think? Do you have enough to work some more today on your worksheets? Tomorrow we'll do unit conversions because some of the problems will give you inches and feet in the same problem. And you can't work the problems like that. You have to treat them all to the same dimension. Same units, sorry, not dimensions. Okay, everybody good? Josh, any questions? Any questions, sir?
No, I understand everything.
Thank you. I'll send you these extra sheets here in just a little bit through
All
your email.
right.
Okay, be sure and text me or call me if you have any kind of questions on it, okay? I
Alrighty.
I got your printouts of what you've done already. Good job. Okay, your audio's starting to be kind of weird. So we're going to shut this down anyway, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.